Yo ho ho, Don Mafia. Welcome to yet another edition of Don Mafia Live. And per very popular request, people have been really wanting this Fan v Fan series to come on, where I bring on two fans from the opposing fan base and then also another Buffalo Bills YouTuber. So I'm very excited to welcome all of my friends here, starting off Mario from Hashtag Sports and everybody else. What is going on, Richie? And so I was trying to do one by one, but then it just let everyone in. I was really going for that dramatic effect. You know what I mean?
The domino.
Yeah, the domino, but it just didn't work out. Below me, we have Mario, Hashtag Sports. Then we have my buddy Richie, as many of you know from the AFC East Roundtable, New York Jets Media, and then my buddy Ryan. That way, my guy Jets Talk 24/7. Really about to go on ahead and dive into this matchup. The Buffalo Bills and the New York Jets, right? Last week, obviously, the Buffalo Bills ended up completely pulling the most embarrassing performance on the face of the planet. And in fact, I feel like I kind of want to go around the table first off just to let all this out, because I know Mario has stuff to say about it, and I think Richie and Ryan could, tell us how bad it was. Subjectively it was. I want to hear the objective opinion. But regardless, let's go ahead and pass it around the table. Richie, what's going on with you, brother?
What's up, Dan? We had a good stream last night on my stream about all the AFC East opponents that we got. Buffalo Bills coming off a terrible loss, as you just mentioned. The New England Patriots, unfortunately, coming off a win. The Dolphins finally getting a win. And then the Jets coming off a disappointing loss on Thursday Night Football. So it feels good. The Jets, I'm excited about this game because as a Jets fan, it's more or less it's more pressure on you guys than us. So it doesn't feel as scary. And the two wins the Jets do have this year are against AFC playoff teams at home. And that's exactly what's happening in this one.
That scares me.
And Dan said it best a couple weeks ago. The Jets only beat playoff contenders, Super Bowl contenders. And I said, Dan, if you consider the Bills contenders, you should be afraid.
Yo, in fact, Mario actually has a pretty interesting stat that I feel like both you and Ryan will sincerely appreciate. Maybe you've heard about it, but Mario, please.
Well, now I have two. Now I have two. It was interesting that the Jets have more wins against teams with winning records than the Bucks do this year. So it's a very interesting. But Richie, what you failed to realize, my friend, is that this is the third game for the Buffalo Bills this year that is coming against an opponent that previously played a Thursday night game. Bills are 2-0 in those games, so it's going to be very interesting to watch this Sunday.
What's going on, Ryan? What's going
to be interesting?
I'm looking forward to the game, and Richie said it best. We don't have a whole lot of pressure on us. There's not level of expectation for us is right around. Right, is that the bottom of the frame? That's the bottom of the frame, right around there. You guys are like Super Bowl or bust. So to lose against a team that hasn't won a game in the continental United States in over a year, it brings me nothing but joy. I thoroughly love this. Jets have two wins against, at the time, top-seeded, or I guess, what are they, top-seeded now, Titans, and then the, at the time, top-seeded Bengals. Bills, correct me if I'm wrong, no wins against above 500 teams at all? Is that correct?
Wait, hold on a second.
Is that right?
Right. Did you just say the hairband from the 80s, the Bengals?
The Bengals.
Did you call them the Bengals?
I can't say the word
Bengals.
Bengals?
Oh, dude. I call them the Bengals.
Bengals?
Yes.
I don't know. It's like the fucking hairband.
Yeah. That loss was so brutal. I felt like I was Jax in Sons of Anarchy watching Opie get piss pounded in prison. It was so absolutely horrible to watch that game. It was and it's because of the level of expectation. Like you nailed it right on the head, Ryan. I mean, there's the Jets really have nothing to lose in this game. So fake punts, fake field goals. There's going to be some stuff that Saleh really throws at the Bills this week, and I'm going to be expecting. So,
yo, listen, what I want to hear is y'all's confidence level in Mike fucking White.
Oh,
that's what I would. Oh, dude, Richie was getting jazzed up.
I am Mike White, by the way. That is me out there. So Mike F. White is officially the starter for this week, and Dan, he's a big Mike White fan. He won't admit it, but he's a big Mike White supporter.
No, it's true. I've publicly admitted it. I'm a huge.
He's publicly admitted it. He's on the Mike White train, and unfortunately for Dan, he's going to have to root against his best buddy in Mike White this Sunday. And this is just a perfect scenario for the Jets because, as we all know, Mike White went out there his first ever NFL start of his life, breaks an NFL record, throws for over 400 yards. And for those Bills fans, I'll give you a really sad stat for the Jets perspective. Mike White was the first quarterback to throw for over 400 yards since Vinny Testaverde, which was 20 years ago. So in my lifetime, that was my first quarterback I've ever witnessed with my own eyes, and I was actually at the game, that threw for 400-plus yards, and it happened to be Mike White. Not all these other guys. Oh, there I am. I'm Mike White.
There it is. All right. There's a popular opinion that if Richie has a hat on, he looks like Mike White. Look at that.
100%. I was laughing during the game. I was like, I should text Richie.
Like, yo, is that Richie over there? But yeah,
I am
yeah,
Mike White,
definitely.
man. That's me, man. I'm the quarterback for the New York Jets. But listen, man, just going back into this game, there's a lot of pressure on Mike White individually, because if he wants to be an actual quarterback in this league, whether it's on the Jets or whether it's, for all 31 other teams that are looking for quarterbacks, potentially backups or starters, this is his opportunity, because going into that Bengals game, his first start, there's no expectations. He's the backup quarterback. Even Jets fans didn't think Mike White could do any of that, because Jets fans were like, oh my God, we have no backup behind Zach Wilson. We're screwed if he goes down. And what do we know? Mike White goes out there and did what he did. And then Thursday Night Football, we all know the hype was there, coming off that historic performance. Not only Jets fans are falling in love with Mike White, but NFL fans around the world are falling in love, because who doesn't like an underdog story? Someone that was drafted in the 5th round, never got an opportunity, waived 10 different times, and now here he is breaking records. And then unfortunately for him, he had to leave the game with an injury after going down the field and scoring a touchdown. So now the Jets coaching staff are giving him another opportunity, simply because Zach Wilson's still nursing his knee injury. So it's going to be really interesting what happens. So say hypothetically the Jets go out there and Mike White plays a phenomenal game, and whether we win or lose, Mike White played really well. That's going to be a really interesting question after this week on Monday. What are the Jets going to do at the quarterback position? Because they're open, I don't want to talk about in this video, but that's something that's really going to be interesting, because I still believe Zach Wilson is the future of this team, but it's really hard to take Mike White out if he is hot. So I'm expecting Mike White to go out there, and he has a really, really big test in front of him with the number 1 defense in the NFL for the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, I'm excited for Mike White. I'm pumped. I think he's earned the start for sure. I think you got to let Zach Wilson rest as much as possible. And I, like you, think that Zach is the future. So I'm not getting too far ahead of myself, but like Richie said, if he winds up pulling off a victory against the Bills this week somehow, then I think we're going to have to start having some serious conversations, at least for the upcoming games. I've predicted, I think Zach Wilson should come back against the Texans. Jets play the Dolphins after this week, and that's an away game against the Texans. I don't think the Jets will let Wilson come into a home, like a Jets home game, with the potential of getting seriously booed on his first game back. I think they'll try to coddle him and just say, hey, we're giving him a little bit more time to rest. But Mike White, look, he's good around the line of scrimmage. I want to say 28 of his 37 completions in that 400-yard game were within either behind the line of scrimmage or just within the first 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. So I think if you guys could somehow take away those short passing games, guys that could be a thorn in your side with Mike White, Elijah Moore, Jamison Crowder, Michael Carter, and Ty Johnson. Those guys are going to work around the line of scrimmage. And I think if the Jets can get the ball in those playmakers' hands, I think it's going to make a long day for that Buffalo defense, especially if you guys are pinning your ears back and trying to come after us. I think we can kind of neutralize your blitzing capability with a little dink and dunk down the field.
Yeah, because very interesting. Me and Mario were actually talking about this the other day. Well, actually right before the stream started, but granted, there's really not enough data to even be able to make a conclusion on Mike White of what's something he does consistently, because we really don't know. But I think that's exactly what he's going to be going out there and doing. His average depth of target's 6 yards, and his his attempts over 9 yards, it's a very small percentage. So I could almost 1,000% guarantee that that's exactly what he's going to be doing. And it might hurt, and to be honest with you, but I have you're going up against the best defense in the league. So, I'm sure that, we'll be able to handle it, but
we were better than the Jags last year. Pretty substantial.
And going into that Colts Thursday night game, because that was fresh off that Bengals game, and Mike White obviously had 400 yards, but he was, throwing it behind the line of scrimmage. Like Ryan said, he wasn't really stretching the field. Well, I went back to Mike White's college tape at Western Kentucky, and I watched his highlights, and he was a deep throw animal. he was just throwing bombs after bombs. I was like, wait a second. I didn't know Mike White had this. And obviously that's college tape. But
He's at Western Kentucky, dude.
I know he's at
You
Western
come out of
Kentucky.
Directional University, you're throwing bombs everywhere.
But I just saw that and I was like, okay, he does have some type of deep throw. So let's see him do that in the NFL, because it's not like he doesn't have the arm to do it. And that's really all I thought about that college tape. That's really all I said. But against the Colts, he did stretch the field a little bit in the limited time he was out there. He was 7 for 11 for 95 yards and 1 touchdown and 2 drives. And he had like a 25-yard touchdown pass. So I think that he really needs to start throwing the ball down the field, because a defense like the Buffalo Bills with Sean McDermott out there is going to, take away the underneath stuff and force Mike White to throw it down the field. And I trust our playmakers to get open for him downfield.
Mario, would you say that so the dink and dunk strategy against the Buffalo Bills would be effective on their end, or something to be concerned about?
A lot of teams have tried to do a lot of that, and a lot of their other teams' success have been coming around the line of scrimmage. Not many teams have been able to go deep on Hyde and Poyer, and rightfully so. You got Trey White, you got Levi Wallace. The problem is Taron Johnson's going to be out. He's your primary, your nickel slot corner. You got Sierra Neal possibly replacing him. Maybe Cam Lewis. Maybe we see Dane Mother Effin Jackson, as we call him at #sports, because that he is Paul's favorite. But maybe we may see him in the slot. I'm not sure. I'm hopeful that we're going to see him in the slot, but I don't know for certain. But they're going to try to stretch the field for the Buffalo Bills east and west. And when you got Milano and Edmonds, 2 guys that could cover from sideline to sideline, it's going to be a true test. And you know what? The Jets are smart. I mean, you got Mike White coming in there. You have a veteran-laden line, but it's one of those lines that is down a few guys. So that's what they're going to try to do. They're going to try to get the ball out of his hands real quick. They're going to try to limit the kind of pressure that he's going to have. Some screens to Carter, some of those quick passes out to their playmakers. Elijah Moore scares the shit out of me. So a lot of those things that the Buffalo Bills don't necessarily have on defense right now are ways that the Jets can attack the Buffalo Bills. Now, I seen it in the chat. Somebody was coming in there saying, the Bills are 12-point favorites for a reason. Well, that's because you have the number 1 defense going against the last place defense in the NFL. And there's, in scoring and in total yards. So what the question mark that Dan and I probably have going into this game is, what the hell is going to happen with this Buffalo Bills offensive line when you have Quinnen Williams up there? You got Lawson's on the injury report. I don't know if he's going to be playing, but you got
Williams
animals over there.
And so Williams and Rankins, who are probably
yes.
probably like the best defensive tackle duo in the league.
They're scary.
One of them. Yeah, they are. And I mean, that pass rush is leaps and bounds better than what we went up against this past Sunday.
Not for
and
nothing,
so,
Richie, but
probably wouldn't
I got a better jersey on than you today, Richie. I think I got a better one than you.
It's not a jersey. 91.0 JFM quarterback kits. John Franklin Myers, baby.
For a second, I thought that was just like a brand deal or something like that.
No,
you had to wear a shirt during all your streams or something like that.
You got that off the Target rack. I just saw that. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's his merch. So you forgot to mention JFM, cool. So I had to give him up.
Dude, one guy actually. All right, so one of my YouTube buddies actually, he hit me up one day and he goes, "Yo, bro, you'll never guess who hit me up for a sponsorship." I was like, "Who?" He's like, "Fleshlight." I'm like, "Did you do it?" He was like, "No, dude, I would have done that." Oh yeah, for the right price, son. For real. Anyway,
do you have experience with it, Dan?
Oh yeah, quality products, man. Quality.
Between that and Manscaped, I don't know about you, Dan.
Oh man. So holy shit. So anyway. So, yeah, I mean, really what Mario has been talking about is I am very, very concerned about that defensive line, but I've also read reports that they really haven't been as, as effective as one would hope. So what are y'all's thoughts on the defensive line of how they've been sort of going off so far this year?
Yeah, so basically the 2 victories that we do have this year, the defensive line was a big reason for it. Against the Titans, we had 7 sacks, and that was probably the most impressive day of that defensive line. It was ridiculous. Not only did the D lineman get sacks, but the linebacker, CJ Mosley, Quincy Williams, who's the older brother of Quinnen Williams, who's our linebacker, who's a hard-hitting monster. And I feel like the stunts that they're pulling, I feel like the defensive line has been underperforming the past couple of weeks, but when it comes to this Jets season, it's really weird. The first 4 games, the offense was atrocious. The defense was great. and the defense was keeping us in games. And now here we are. And the last 4 games, it's been the opposite. The offense has been clicking in all cylinders. The defense has been terrible. So we're getting the good and the bad from both phases of the ball. So we're trying to get everything, clicked together, because the identity of this team is supposed to be the defensive line. Robert Saleh said this is the most impressive and talented defensive line he's ever had. And that's saying a lot. I don't know if he's just saying that because he's the head coach, but the 49ers defensive line was absolute dogs when they went to the Super Bowl. So when we're fully healthy, I really want to take advantage of this Bills offensive line, because I know that you guys are banged up. I know that you guys are have a lot of injuries right now. So if there was a game for the Jets defensive line to get to the quarterback, it's this one, because that's what's been the issue so far, because the formula for success for the Robert Saleh defense all starts with the D-line. And if the D-line is not doing their job, it screws up everything. And that's what we saw against the Colts. We would not be able to stop the run. We cannot get to Carson Wentz, and they were just carving us up all day long. Same thing against the Patriots. So it really all starts with that up forefront. And I have confidence in them to have a bounce-back game, because those guys are way too talented to have 3 weeks in a row just not looking good. Because if you look at the tape and you look at the stats in the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season, the Jets D-line was like top 3 in the league. Right now, they've just been trending in the wrong direction. So I'm hoping that the coaching staff and the players can start executing the game plan.
Has the run stopping been sort of like on like a level of frustration for you guys at all?
We're coming off probably the worst performance of my Jets lifetime in a while. Jonathan Taylor.
I mean, like with stats, I think y'all were like giving up like 133 yards per game or something like that, which is normally not something I would have predicted at all.
Yeah, our defense has really struggled with those pass catching running backs, guys like a Jonathan Taylor, a Christian McCaffrey, Cordero Patterson, McNichols down with Tennessee Titans. I think the Jets. It's weird because the Jets haven't been able to pin their ears back with a pass rush, because we're usually behind pretty often, so we're kind of on our heels a little bit. If the linebackers, we're starting to get them back and healthy. Jared Davis came back 2 weeks ago. He hasn't really played well the last 2 weeks. CJ Mosley has been playing well aside from last week. So if the defensive line can get a little bit more of a push and it can free up some space for our linebackers and hopefully shut down some of the short passing game, I think the Jets have somewhat of a shot. Our secondary is surprisingly good, even without Marcus May. Our young corners are better than you would think. My fear is definitely Allen running around. And I'm kind of torn as to whether I want to see the Jets try to contain him and not let him break outside the pocket, or if I want them to try and sack him, because he's such a big body. It's not an easy task at all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, really.
Let me ask you this, though, Ryan. Do you think you guys have the horses to play man behind it? Because if you did want to try to pin your ears back and bring a fifth rusher, as Jacksonville did on a few occasions last week, that happened to confuse the Buffalo Bills offensive line. I mean, other than being a sieve last week, do you think that you guys have the horses in the secondary, aside from the defensive line, to generate enough pressure on Allen to do that?
I think we could. It's kind of unproven. We've been playing a lot of zone. I like Bryce Hall. I like Michael Carter II in the secondary. Eccles is probably a depth piece. Like, we'll probably try to upgrade from him next year. The safeties are definitely where we're weak right now. Yeah. I think we can send an extra blitzer. I would look for Quincy Williams to come on a few blitzes. This guy hits like a friggin' freight train. And he's not so good in pass coverage. So I think if we were going to send someone, he would probably be it.
And look out for him on special teams.
But man up with these young players. It's going to be an interesting test for sure.
Well, the thing that I always harken back to, and I want to kick this back over to Dan. Sorry, Dan, I'm hacking.
No. It's cool.
I'm hijacking your show.
So I was actually about to ask you a question. You're cool.
Oh, okay. No, I was going to say with the 15 rushing touchdowns that the New York Jets are surrendering, and the Buffalo Bills, I mean, this is my concern, I guess, for you. They're letting in 15 rushing touchdowns. They've already let in over 1,000 yards rushing this year for the New York Jets, even though that defensive line has been impressive. With the Buffalo Bills' just inability to run the ball, I mean, does that worry you going in against the Jets?
Yes. 110%.
I feel like it worked.
Yeah. So, I mean, I haven't heard news about whether or not that Zach Moss is out of the concussion protocol. I mean, say that he's out and we just need to rely on, Singletary. I mean, you know me, Mario. I'm not the kind of guy that like really buys into those Cinderella sort of like the preseason stories. You know what I'm saying? Like back when Christian Wade ended up running one back, everyone's like, "Oh, bring him up, dude." I'm like, bro, he played football for 3 fucking months of his life, dog. Like, nah, like we're not doing that. I'm thinking about bringing up the other running back, Antonio Williams. Why not at this point, right? Why not? Because the Bills cannot run the ball.
You guys only have 2 active running backs on your
Well,
roster?
they got Matt Breida as well, who's been kind of sitting on the
Who's-
sidelines as like a pinch hitter, but he really hasn't been doing much. He hasn't been active in any of the games. So I think one game he was active, I believe.
Yeah.
He was basically brought in to be an outside threat, and the Buffalo Bills haven't even tried to run outside at all. So
I've noticed that. That's that's weird.
So what was your question, Dan? I don't even know what your question was.
Well, no, I was actually going to go back to the defensive line situation.
Okay.
Say, for example, and I mean, granted, there's news that Spencer Brown may or may not be back, but let's just pretend that we have the exact same offensive line combination going up against the Jets.
I'm out of here.
I'm out of here. I'm out.
Heck of a show, guys. See you later.
What does Dable need to call to sort of make that a non-factor and beat it?
Well,
What's
a
he
couple
doing?
of factors there. With the X factor being Knox. I talked to you before the show. I don't know why they just don't put, why don't they just put Gabe Davis in some of those packages where Knox was a receiver to try to see if he could spread him out and see what his abilities are as far as a big body receiver in there. As far as everything else goes, the Buffalo Bills had a lot of trouble getting into a rhythm. The EP system is a very rhythm offense. With Allen, when it starts to click and he starts to hit Sanders underneath, he starts to hit Diggs over the top, he starts to hit Beasley underneath, he starts to do all those little things. That's when the offense really starts to click. With the penalties coming in last week and a lot of the things that were just so out of sync with the offensive line, it almost looked like week 1 against Pittsburgh, where Allen just really didn't have any time. He was reverting back to 2018 Josh Allen, where he was just one read and I'm out of here. You know what I mean? There's not a Josh Allen across from him this week, even though they play good defensive line across the board. There's not really one like huge stud you got to really worry about. They play a very consistent, and that's what you had by hiring a defensive head coach coming into the Jets. So that being said, I think you want to try to get him into a rhythm. You want to try to move some guys around. And I didn't see him motioning a lot, Stephon Diggs a lot. I want to try to get him into space, get him in the slot, maybe try to move him around, try to expose that secondary a little bit that you want to try to do. That all being said, I think it starts with the run, though. You have to try to – every offensive lineman loves run blocking, and Ford is a run blocking horse, okay? Let him do it. Let him run block. Let him try to double and get to the second level, because the one thing that the Jets defensive line has been doing great, if you can just look at the stat sheet, linebacker, corner, safety are all their leading tacklers. You know why? Because the defensive linemen are keeping bodies going to the second level, and all those linebackers are making the plays for the Jets. So even though they are 2-6, they're starting to generate some steam and be a quality football team. The Bills got to try to get their head out of their ass, man. That's all I'm saying. That's what they got to start doing.
Well, I mean, luckily, I don't feel like this is in this team's DNA to sort of go on ahead and make that repeat of behavior of just going out there and looking absolutely fucking lost. I'm confident that we'll bounce back, but there's still something in the back of my mind. I'm like, Josh Allen's going to lose his life behind that offensive line. That's probably one of my biggest concerns going into it. But CJ Mosley too. I mean, he's definitely somebody that you need to watch out for. If it wasn't for him getting injured that first game in 2019, I think it probably would have ended up a little bit differently.
Oh my God, that game terrified me.
That was one of the most insane games, single-handedly, a performance I've ever seen in my life, and it had to get cut short. Oh, man. At halftime of that moment, I'm like, wow, the Jets are going to the playoffs.
Beautiful. Okay, Richie. All right, let's imagine that you were currently the head coach of the New York Jets.
So I'm not Mike White. Okay. Solid.
Not anymore. Not for right now.
You're both, bro. You're Mike White and you're coaching the team. Okay. That's why you're Mike fucking White. Okay. All right. So you're head coach. What exactly is your game plan going up against the Bills? How are you going to beat us?
Offensively for the New York Jets? Yeah. So starting off with the offensive side of the ball, we're going up against the best defense in the NFL. And I know that they are talented as heck. And I think the reason why this Bills defense is number one is simply because they've been in the same system for how many years? 4 or 5 years in a row. And you've had continuity all over the place. Not only just the same system, but the same players in the system, and not only the same, players, but talented players in the system. So if you have all those things clicking on all cylinders, even Mike White said that in an interview today, his press conference, he talked about the reason why the Bills defense is so good is because they've been in the same system for so long and they're so talented. He was talking about, Trey White and the safety tandem. So I feel like the Jets, they need to give the ball to the playmakers' hands in space, because I feel like the Jets' young, exciting playmakers are finally making that step that Jets fans have been waiting for, because we have such a young offense right now. And going into this year, I knew it was going to be a lot of ups and downs, all about development. And there was so much hype surrounding Elijah Moore, the wide receiver we drafted in the second round in training camp, and he got off to a really slow start. But it wasn't just him that got off to a slow start. The entire offense got off to a slow start. So a lot of Jets fans are scratching their head. They're like, where's Elijah Moore? It wasn't Elijah Moore. It was the entire offense. And now we got our rookie running back as well, Michael Carter, who's putting on a lot of numbers each and every week. So I really want to make sure that the Jets get the ball into Elijah Moore's hands and Michael Carter's hands multiple times this game, because they are guys that can make people miss in the open field, pick up the first down, even take it to the house, because they're that electric. And I feel like the Jets really need to take advantage of that, because if they don't do those quick passes, they do not get Michael Carter and Elijah Moore the ball in space, then it's going to be a living nightmare, because I feel like if we try to go deep, I don't like our chances. I don't like Corey Davis getting open against those two safeties or Trey White. I really want him to stay underneath and establish a run game. I want him to pound the rock and target both running backs, because not only do we have Michael Carter, but we have a running back in Ty Johnson who has been really good as well out of the pass game for sure. And the offensive line, I think that's a big X factor. Our left guard is a rookie, Elijah Vera Tucker. He's probably one of the best upcoming left guards in the NFL, man. He is grading out as such a stud. We traded up a lot to get him, and he's looking like he was worth every single penny. So I'm looking for the offensive line to do their job, because their run game, their run blocking is taking steps, but their pass blocking has been doing a really good job. So Corey Davis will be back in this game. He's been missing the past 2 weeks, and I just feel like they just got to execute the offense the way they've been doing it the past 2 weeks, because this stat just absolutely blows my mind every time I read it, guys. It really is insane. In the last 2 weeks, the Jets offense had 997 total yards, 8 touchdowns, and 64 points in 2 games. Like, that doesn't make sense as a Jets fan to say that, especially when you factor in where this Jets offense was in the beginning of the year. And I think a big reason for it, besides the quarterback change, our young rookie offensive coordinator is finally calling plays in the booth, which he said he's the most comfortable in. And he was supposed to be there since the beginning of the season, but a lot of things happened where he had to be on the sideline. And now he's back where he's comfortable. Mike LaFleur is in the booth, and he's calling beautiful, creative play calls. So I just feel like they just have to not overcomplicate things and try to do what they did the past 2 weeks, because what they've been doing executing wise has been beautiful. And I know it's going to be a way big different test, because of the Bills defense is better than the Bengals, better than the Colts by a large margin. So it's going to be a big test to see. I just feel like try not to overcomplicate things, do what worked last time, but definitely try to exploit some of the Bills' weaknesses. When it comes to the Jets defense, man, it all starts up front. We talked about it in the beginning of the stream. The Jets D-line is the heart and soul of this team. And if we cannot generate pressure, and if we cannot stop the run up front, we're going to lose. And the Indianapolis Colts, they have one of the best offensive lines in the NFL, and they absolutely destroyed us. Quentin Nelson was a dog. It was him and Quinnen Williams going up against each other. Nelson got Quinnen Williams in the run game. Quinnen Williams got him in the pass game, so it was kind of a stale matchup. So I'm hopefully going to see a Quinnen Williams breakout performance in this one. He leads the Jets in sacks at the defensive tackle position, which is really insane. And then when it comes to the secondary, man, this is a big test, because the Jets have been doing really good against top receivers in the NFL so far. We were going up against Jamar Chase, and at that time, Jamar Chase was like the hottest wide receiver in football, and we stopped him to 3 receptions for 32 yards and a touchdown on 9 targets. So the Jets' young secondary has been doing a really good job, and now they have to worry about Stephon Diggs. So Bryce Hall is going to be following him around, and I really want them to try man-to-man coverage, because I know against the Jaguars, you guys struggled against that, and the Jets' zone coverage has been really bad over the middle. I feel like all the passes that the Jets have been giving up defensively has been over the middle. It's never on the sidelines, because the cornerbacks do their job, but the linebackers have not been able to cover the middle of the field, especially the safeties. So they really need to hone in on that, get pressure on Josh Allen, and try to force him to make some mistakes. Because if you're not going to get to Josh Allen's head, and if you make him have all day to throw, then Stephon Diggs is going to be down the field, and Josh Allen has a cannon. He can rifle that ball 70 yards down the field like we know. So I think it all starts up front, and when you can generate pressure, that helps out your young secondary, and that's the formula to success in order to get this W to pull off the upset.
Beautiful. Ryan, same question, man.
Yeah, I mean, Richie really hit the nail on the head. I think the defensive and offensive lines are going to be huge for this game. If the Jets can somehow generate some pressure on a banged-up Bills offensive line, I think it's going to go a really long way. Especially if we could stop the run and we force you to be a little more one-dimensional than maybe we have with other teams. Elijah Vera Tucker, I expect him to bounce back big time this week. Last week was probably his worst game as a pro, but he's been a monster all season. Offensive line-wise, look, we got to get the ball out fast because I don't trust. I believe the Jets are sitting at like 15 overall in terms of offensive line, which is definitely better than the last few years we've had. But still, getting the ball out fast. LaFleur, like Richie said, is up in the booth, so he's calling plays, and it seems like it's a little bit better than what we've gotten through the first 6 weeks of the season or whatever. We've also added John Beck to the sideline. He is Zach Wilson's offseason quarterback coach. He was the backup quarterback in Washington when Kyle Shanahan was the offensive coordinator. Sean McVay was the tight ends coach. And Matt LaFleur was the quarterbacks coach. So another influence on the quarterbacks down there on the sideline, I think is important. And look, Mike White's just got to get the ball out of his hands. He's got to get it to his playmakers, like Richie said. Elijah Moore, Michael Carter, Jamison Crowder, get these guys the ball in space. Don't allow the Bills to kind of tee off on you. And just first down. All you got to do is get 4 yards. 4 yards, 4 yards, 4 yards, first down, 4 yards, 4 yards, 4 yards, first down. That's all you got to do. Don't go crazy. You don't have to bomb the ball deep down the field. You got to keep them honest, but don't push your luck with that Bills secondary because they are really, really good. I wanted to get your thoughts real quick on Dawson Knox. Is he playing? I saw he was practicing, I believe, today. It seems like you guys kind of like targeting him in the, I don't know if it's the red zone or just like big.
Yeah, Mario, if you want to take that one, man, go ahead.
Yeah, he was limited. I'm gonna look up some for it right now because the last I heard he was limited. No official status for his game that I have heard of, but it's interesting to see. Let me see that he's not on the official injury report that I have in front of me right now, but that could change obviously. But the thing that I like to talk about with this game is the matchups. I mean, you want to talk about, limiting Jamar Chase, to 3 catches on 9 targets, but that's what Marcus May in there. The Bills and the Jets, once again, the parallels always come across. You guys lose Marcus May, we lose Taron Johnson. Our third leading tackler, your second leading tackler. Marcus May, I even told Ryan last year, I was so impressed with that guy and what he was able to do and how he's able to shift what he's doing in the defense. He's almost like, I'm not making this comparison. So, if there's any Bills fans and Jets fans in here, please don't say it. He's kind of like the Jets version of a Jordan Poyer, where he can come down, play in the box. He can blitz off the edge. He can do a lot of different things for you. He's like a hybrid player back there as a safety. And that losing him, your second leading tackler, is he was very poignant to limiting Jamar Chase to 3 catches on 9 targets. But then you start to look at it and you say, okay, well he's not out, and he was very crucial to that being a success against the Bengals. Now you got Diggs and Sanders with that young secondary. I think you have like a 6th rounder and a 5th rounder playing the corners out there, and you got another safety coming in that you guys just signed up. But the matchups that I'm going to be looking for the most is going to be Morgan Moses versus Greg Rousseau on that tackle spot. And then I want to see Vera Tucker get baptized by Star Lotulelei in the middle. I want to see that. That's going to be because like you said, the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. If Star is able to push that pocket right into Mike White's face, it's not going to be, it's, a lot of those short passes, they may be mistimed, they may be high, they may, there might be a lot of things that get skewed in there. If both, I'll mention Oliver too, Oliver pushing the pocket of Vera Tucker back in White's face, that's going to be the thing that decides this game for me on both sides of the ball. Is if Quinnen Williams is able to generate pressure on Morse and get in through Butker and all of those guys on the Buffalo Bills offensive line, and then the same is going to happen to Tucker, and maybe Rousseau beats, Moses on the corner a few times, you're going to see another 3-3 game at halftime. I'm sorry, Bills fans. That's what's going to happen because everything is controlled up front. I don't care how many skilled players you have. I don't care how many guys you got out there that are studs. It's all controlled by the horses up front. And if it's not controlled, it's going to be another ugly game.
The Jets are going to win ugly. If you guys keep it close, or if the Jets keep it close and it's a low-scoring game, Jets are going to win this game. 100%.
Oof.
Very
Jets won't lose an ugly game. If the Jets wind up like if you guys start scoring points, I don't think the Jets are going to have the firepower to keep up with you guys. Just
Guy threw
based
for
on what I-
400, Ryan. Come on.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
The guy threw for 400. You
Oh,
don't
I
think you
know.
have the firepower?
Hey, look, I'm all about it, but I think
Guy
your
threw for
secondary is
400.
significantly different.
His jersey's in the Hall of Fame, man.
Dude,
Oh, man.
All right, listen, that's a great segue. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to go around and give like our final thoughts, score prediction. And then we'll probably cut this at about 10 to 15 because I really want to watch TD's stream tonight while he cries. So
Oh,
we definitely
my.
got to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and start with Ryan on this one. Ryan, final takes on the game and a score prediction. What you got?
I believe the spread is like 8.5 points right now. I
Ooh.
could be wrong. I don't know exactly offhand.
I know it opened at 13. I don't know what it's at now. That's crazy.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
If it's at 8, I was like Vegas, man, they're punishing us from last week.
Yeah. I'm going to say, let's see. Let's go 30-24 Bills, I think.
Damn. Mike White's going to have a game, you're thinking?
I hope so. I would like to see him play well. I'm not opposed to having Zach Wilson sit on the bench, even if it was like, I don't think it'll be the rest of the year, but for like a decent amount of time. It seems like this team really likes Mike White. Like all the players are coming out and like just gushing over this guy. CJ Mosley, I think it was today or yesterday, said something along the lines of like, we've seen him go against the number one defense in practice all offseason. So we knew what this guy had. We didn't expect 400 yards, but we were really pumped for this guy. So I think there is a different energy to this team, but I just want to see it actually play out. Last week, we were hoping to see that against the Colts, but he got knocked out after the second drive. So I'm still kind of waiting to see if he can do the same thing he did against the Bengals twice.
Interesting. Mario, what you got, man?
It's weird because I got a couple different things here, guys. I mean, I think, and I know I'm probably not alone with the Jets guys here on this with Richie and Ryan. In fact, if the Buffalo Bills play their best game on both sides of the ball and the Jets play their best game on both sides of the ball, I don't know if the Jets have enough horses to keep up with the Bills as of right now. As of right now is what I'm saying. I'm saying because you just had a new coach, you're rebuilding, you guys are in that phase right now. I think the Buffalo Bills will win by 14 if that happens. But you're talking about a Buffalo Bills team that in the last 6 games scored 43, 40, 38, 31, 26, and 6. They're going in the right direction there. Okay. Yeah. But in that, I will say that if Josh Allen throws for 300 yards in this game, the Bills are going to lose. I'm telling you that right now. I'm going to put that bold take on the line right now. If Allen throws for 300, because this is the game. This is the game that the Buffalo Bills have to try to establish some kind of fear in the NFL that they will actually run the damn ball. And you're going up against a team that is 32nd in the league in rush defense. You got to try to do something against this team that has let up 1,000 yards and 15 touchdowns on the ground. Okay, so if the Bills are able to rush for 200 yards, then that just kind of lends a little note to the NFL. Hey, we fixed some things we had to fix. We have a line that's really good at run blocking, not very good at pass blocking right now. They need to recenter it. But if Allen throws for over 300, the Bills lose. I'm just telling you that right now.
Dude, I'm tweeting that and giving you credit, bro.
I'll get crucified. I've been called worse. Don't worry, dude. Mario.
Well, no, and so I don't necessarily as you can see, I'm speechless. It's just a crazy ass take. You know what I mean? I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm just saying it's like, damn, it's fucking hot. Right?
Dan, we've seen this team put the ball in Allen's hands when he's been getting piss pounded back there, and they just keep doing it. Do something different. Try to run the damn ball. Don't you have a merch line that says run the damn ball, Dan? Come on now. You got to be behind this theory here.
Yeah, I do. I'm thinking about taking it off. Or so editing it and saying, don't run the damn ball. We can't, etc. Richie, final takes, score prediction.
Yeah, man, I think this is going to be all about who wins the game at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. And I think it's going to be a very pesky division matchup. I think the Jets have a lot to prove. There's a lot of times, the 2 wins that the Jets have, I had zero optimism of getting a W going into that game, especially against the Bengals. I was at the stadium, had an amazing tailgate with my friends. That was the first time Mike White was being the starter. And we're walking in there like, all right, guys, Mike White, what is going to happen? Hopefully we can stay in this thing. And then that entire thing just happened. So anything is possible. I think that the only way the Jets do win and they do pull off the upset is if they just play with more sense of urgency and a more sense of more energy and intensity, because I feel like that's what this Jets culture is trying to brew under Robert Saleh, is trying to like punch you in the mouth, all gas, no break mentality, outwork your opponents. We know that we're not the more talented team. You guys have way more talented players, and you guys are way more years ahead of us in the system and the continuity grand scheme of things. We're young. We have the most rookies snaps by anybody in the NFL by a large margin. We're the youngest team in the NFL, and we're hungry. And we're hungry to prove a lot of people wrong. And that's how we were able to get those 2 wins against really good teams in the AFC. So that's the only way the Jets can really get this game in their favor. But I'm not going to sit here and predict the Jets W, because I think that's unrealistic. Based on what I've seen for this Jets defense, I don't think that they're going to be able to stop Josh Allen, even though that they have been trending in the wrong direction. I think that they are going to get back on track, and Josh Allen, the Buffalo Bills offense, is going to at least put up, it sickens me to say it, but like around 28 to 31 points. I just don't see the Jets defense being able to contain them, especially with the Bills. Like, I don't think we mentioned this. Like, the Bills coming off that loss, they have a lot of things to prove, and they're going to be playing with a fire on their ass. And this is a division game. They know how important this is. And I feel like Sean McDermott is going to make sure that their players understand that if we want to be a contender in the AFC this year, and if we want to be a top seed, and if we want to win the division, because unfortunately the Patriots are, right behind you guys, this is a must win. Like, if you guys lose this game, it's going to really hurt your entire season. And I feel like the Bills players understand that, and they're not going to execute their game plan, but it's all in the Jets to try to outwork their opponents, and hopefully they can make this a game. So my final score prediction is going to be 28-21 Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, and look at how the Bills responded to that week 1 loss. They put a 35-0 thumping on the Dolphins. I'm like really hoping we don't.
Yeah.
And then after we lost to the Titans, we put another whopping on the Dolphins. So I mean, that was.
I just hope it's competitive, to be honest. Like, please don't blow us the hell out. Like, let us be in it with 5 minutes left in the fourth, and Mike White having a good game, and the playmakers doing well in fantasy, and then I'll be a contender.
Oh my God, I don't think Dan's liver can handle that if it's close with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Yo, listen, after Jacksonville, I'm not drinking until Thanksgiving. Yeah, bro, I'm going on a cleanse, dog.
That's a hot take right there. Jeez, I'm gonna tweet that.
That's a hot take. No, I swear to God, bro. I swear to God, I'm just.
So are we doing a bet? Is that what's going on? Are we going to do a bet, see who wins? Are you going to give us the points and maybe you do something?
No, you don't have confidence in me that I can't not have a beer until Thanksgiving. That's a problem. Holy shit, I should quit altogether.
Ryan, if the Buffalo Bills do not cover a 10-point spread, if you want, I will join you on Monday wearing a Jets jersey.
Ooh.
Oh, whoa.
Okay. So how about this? If the Jets don't cover that 10-point spread, wait, you think the Jets will or won't?
You give me half your subscribers. No, I'm just kidding. No, I say I'll give you 10 points. Bill's got to cover. If it's 10, then it's a push.
Okay. All right. So if the Jets can't come within the 10 points, I'll paint my toenails green. we'll do that.
Oh, nails.
Yeah. You need to go on.
Gotta be blue and red.
Yeah. And you need to go on Mario's channel live and do it on one of his live shows.
You just see him sitting there putting it on his feet.
Toenails, not fingernails.
And don't make any takes at all. Like, you're just in the camera, just painting your toenails. That's it. Just
all right.
Just nothing.
Well,
just, hey,
scary.
how you doing?
I'll see you Monday either way if you want, Ryan. Just let me know.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. That bet. Yeah. Okay. Well,
Dan, I'm excited to start making bets with you by next year.
Yeah.
We can do spread, Richie.
Because
right.
Because I feel left out. Master at work for the AFC's roundtable, he clowns everybody like the Bills and the Dolphins, but they never clowns the Jets because he knows the Jets aren't a threat. So I'm excited for you guys to start hating the Jets because we're good. Hopefully that's by next year.
That is beautiful. One thing that will help me sleep at night thinking about this game is that really for the past 2 years, after every single Bills loss, minus those 2 in a row that we dropped to Kansas City and Tennessee in 2020, we always came back pretty damn strong, especially this year. Like I said, I have a feeling that this team is going to be zeroed in. I have a feeling that Sean McDermott ripped them all a new asshole on the entire flight back from Jacksonville up to Buffalo that exact same night. So I have a feeling that there's going to be an entire different focus on this team. And I think that this is going to be a pretty good start to, I would say, being more consistent. I really see the Bills getting a bit more consistent moving forward. What happened?
I don't know what Ryan's laughing at.
What? You're right. Why are you laughing?
If Jets lose, Richie has to buy a Josh Allen fleshlight. Leave it on the shelf all year.
All right. Perfect. Yeah, Richie. Worst case
Dan has
scenario,
to buy it for him.
email. See if
Leave
they'll
it on
sponsor
the
you, bro.
shelf. This is Elf on the
my
Shelf for
God.
Christmas.
Oh,
That's crazy.
Oh, okay. A Buffalo Bills flashlight. Okay, that's interesting. All right. My final score prediction, I'm going to go 28-14 Bills. I think that our offense is going to put it together. I think Josh Allen will be sacked about 3 or 4 times, though, unfortunately.
I'm changing my prediction. The New York Jets are winning 38-37 in a shootout.
What are really?
Love it.
Mike F. White's here.
I love it. Mike fucking White, right?
He's here. And what everyone in the chat, Bills fans are like, what's Richie saying, man? This man's delusional. Okay, let me be delusional for a week. I never predicted the 2 upsets, so now I'm going to predict the damn upset. Mike F. White, 492 yards.
Wow, 492, man. You got 2 jerseys in the hall.
Bills defense absolutely just collapses, and it's just Bills fans are going to be really upset, man.
Oh, my God. Well,
that feels good to sound delusional. Like, that was not me, and that felt cool.
I thought TD was here for a second.
Yeah.
And, that's why TD's so happy all the time, bro.
There's something in the water
delusion, All right, yeah. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, what I want to do is I just want to go around the table so everyone can let what they have going on at their channel today, starting off with Mario.
Yes, we have obviously we have Joe calling the games on Sunday at 1:00, play-by-play. Make sure you guys tune in for that. And prior to that, we have our Friday night tailgate with Tommy and Mike breaking down the game for you for the Buffalo Bills versus the New York Jets. And then Paul will have his Tuesday morning or Thursday morning coffee, where he goes live in the morning for about half hour, 45 minutes to answer all your questions of the previous week. And we are going to be having some episodes coming out for you guys coming this week. Also, we have, for any of you bettors out there, we have the Razor Sharp picks every Wednesday. For Joe Sharp does that as well. He has the Razor Sharp picks for every week. So make sure that you do it. All of our socials, everything on our on iTunes and Spotify, every, Twitter, Tim Hortons, whatever, we're everywhere. So just go #sports and you'll find us. So
beautiful. Ryan, what you got going on your channel, man?
Just regular Jet stuff. Trying to look at any highlights I can get. I don't care if it's backup quarterback, third string quarterback. Go over some different trending topics in the NFL. I don't just do the Jet news, mainly Jet news. But I do live streams. I'll do post-game reactions. So if something stupid happens in the Jets-Bills game, I will be live after for about a half hour or so. So you can bring it. But Jets talk 24/7.
Richie, what about you, man?
It felt good to channel my inner TD Finns talk for a second. I was out of my comfort zone and definitely was not real, so don't take that seriously, guys. But you guys know where to find me, Richie at Jets Media. I'll be live during the game if you want to get a Jets fan's perspective of the reaction. My emotions are through the roof, whether it's good or bad. It's hard to really, compile my emotions when I'm calling these games live. So I'll be there and I'll be making a recap video as well. And also, if you guys want to check me out on my other YouTube channel, it's called Touchdown Kingdom, all about the NFL. I'll come out with my weekly NFL predictions. I give score predictions for every single game across the NFL. That's Touchdown Kingdom. If you guys are interested, you go check me out on my second NFL YouTube channel. So you guys know where to find me. If you want to come talk smat in the chat, chill out. I'll be there. 1:00, MetLife Stadium, man. Let's do this thing. Let's go Jets.
Let's do it. All right, Del Mafia. I'm probably just going to be going live until the game. I'll probably be live tomorrow at 6 p.m. just for a bit of a Q&A. And then Saturday, I'll do sort of a tailgate show. I'll probably bring some fans on to actually talk. I'll put the StreamYard link right in the chat. And my live game reaction as well. So really hoping that the Buffalo Bills will be able to turn it around. I am confident that they will. And
I see
that
you're a little nervous. I see a little.
With that, listen, bro, man. I'm just a broken man inside, man. I watched that game in person and had to drive back 6 hours.
Well, the AFC Roundtable chat on your Instagram group chat is just roasting you on your drive home.
Oh yeah, dude. There were so many Jags fans that commented on that video when I said that we were gonna murder the the Jags. I haven't read a single one. I was like, there's no way. I can't do it. My ego can't take it. You know? but anyway, Dom Mafia, thank you so much for tuning in to a Fan v Fan episode, and we'll see you next time. Let's go Buffalo.